We're going to take questions here. You can come up to the microphone. We have 2 microphones, so we'll start here and then go back there and alternate. But as the MC, I'm told that I have the privilege of asking the first question. And boy, have I meditated on this one. Okay? No. See, he'll give us some slippery answer to that. Okay? See, that one's too easy. No. So, no, originally I did want to ask that. But I thought, no, he's not going to answer that. And I understand that. I'm not, I don't want to be too flippant here. So I came up with a sort of different question that I think will sort of trick him into answering that one. And it's basically this. My question is to Congressman Paul. Now, looking back on the presidential campaign, we know what the results were in terms of bringing out, as you said, all these people and so many young people. We've got the Federal Reserve now being discussed as a political issue. We've got a position where people realize that concern for civil liberties is not something that mamby-pamby left-wing America haters care about, but are a serious issue. They're part of our civilization. We understand now that maybe there's something a teensy-weensy bit not conservative about our foreign policy. This is actually getting out into the mainstream. And Austrian economics is undergoing the greatest rebirth it has had since F.A. Hayek won the Nobel Prize. So here's my question to you, Congressman Paul. Given all that, now I understand, I can't begin to imagine how physically and mentally taxing it is to run for president, but I guess my question is, given all these wonderful results, and that maybe our numbers could triple if you were to run again, what good reasons can you give us for not doing it?
Next question. Well, it's too early to make rash decisions.
Oh. You're not evading the question, Congressman.
I would never evade a question. I don't know the answer.
Ah, well, that's good. That's actually a good answer. He can't think of any reason not to do it, folks. All right, okay. Let's get going. So we've got 1 microphone that'll alternate, and you can pose your question to one or both, but do not model your question after mine, which was sort of like a little speech. The question has to be quick, a question, and then we'll pose it to these gentlemen. And then, we are supposed to be out of here at 10, but I have special dispensation to keep you here longer if you so desire, so we may go a little bit beyond. Okay, yes, sir.
My name is Mike. I live 4 blocks down the street, and you did steal my...
Yeah, is the mic not working?
Sure.
Okay, we don't have a working mic, so you say the question and I'll repeat it so everybody hears it.
I guess I have to change my question now. I was going to get the elephant out of the room, but I throw this question frequently to Campaign for Liberty. Who else can we support? Is there anyone that consistently thinks the same way you do and consistently votes the same way you do? You vote by yourself frequently, but who else can whose websites, whose campaigns should we support, like Dennis Kucinich or... Okay. So besides yourself and Congress.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, he asked who else can he support. You're talking about members of Congress.
Like who else always votes the same way as you and always agrees with you?
Okay, well, the candidates, I couldn't possibly answer that. There's going to be a lot of good candidates. I knew one in Kentucky. But this is where, I threw out the word messy. In politics, it can be messy. So it's going to be hard to find everybody who's going to agree on all these issues. But since I've worked in this field for a while, see, I just want to give you one example of how I look at this. I don't have an answer, and I can't give you a list. And maybe some others with the Campaign for Liberty might be able to do more specific for you. But let me just tell you just a real short story. Probably my best friend over on the Hill is Walter Jones. And Walter Jones is not, he says, I like you. He says, and I like your views. I really respect you, but I'm not a libertarian. But he voted for the war, and he was the one that said that we should never call French fries. We're going to call them freedom fries, because he was angry at the French because they wouldn't support the war. But I tell you what, I talked to him, he read my stuff, and he converted. He's the hardest core anti-war person over there right now. So do your best to find your good candidates, people that will at least listen and talk and read, and then hopefully they'll get better along the way. But there's also some good candidates out there that you should look for.
Okay, let's go now to the gentleman at the rear microphone.
Yes, I'm Dr. David McCaleb. I'm a neurosurgeon in St. Pete. I want to thank you, Congressman Paul. I want to thank you, Judge Napolitano. You've given me hope that my 3 children will be able to live in a land of freedom. Thank you so much for that. My question goes to the excessive benefits that government workers get and the union's relation with those government workers. How can we break that stranglehold so they're not getting defined benefit plans, and this is to both of you, and they're not getting health insurance paid for by, for their family members by taxpayers? How can we break that stranglehold and not lose that political battle?
Well, I'll give you my real brief answer. Fire them all.
You know, the government has written laws unique to us and unique to itself. And the Congress has enacted legislation that give benefits to government employees that the rest of us would never even get in the private sector. Congressman Paul is right, fire them all. Or fire the members of Congress who refuse to change the law so that the same rules apply to them as apply to us. That's the short and easy answer. The real and long answer is continue to do what we are doing, because this requires a sea change in the thinking of the members of Congress and of the bureaucrats who have the real power when Congress is home during a snowstorm.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name's Anastasia. I live in Doylestown. I'm a mother of 3. I formed the Kitchen Table Patriots. And anyway, Congressman Paul, with a Ron Paul bumper sticker and me now being a threat to Homeland Security, for real, and also with wanting to reform the GOP, what I found in Bucks County, and I'm sure this is in the state of Pennsylvania, is that it's so entrenched, and that our committee people, they're not listening to us, the people, and they continue to put out candidates that don't represent our views. And so how to come across that this is okay, that I'm not extreme, and how do we combat that within the Republican Party?
Well, not easily. I look at it one mind at a time, try to change people. If the change in the political process and the party structure's too frustrating, you know, go into teaching or go into radio, go into TV or something. But it doesn't mean you should drop out, because I've been in this for a long time. But that is a tough one, and you can't do it. But I don't think that does change until people's attitudes change overall. But there's more. There are some success stories, and I think some people in Campaign for Liberty could give you some success stories about how they have gotten enough people in. And a lot of that is still going on. There's been state representatives and others elected around the country. There's been a lot of successes, but I also understand your frustration. So there's no easy answer to it.